Madam, kindly unmute that lady's what she is talking. It is muted, is there? We are not hearing any voice. Still is not on. No, still is muted only is showing. Umalata is talking. But we are not hearing anything. Yeah, both of them. Yeah. ಮಲಯಾಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Hello, sir.
Hello. College mic is off.
So you can start.
Okay. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In between, what happens? I have not heard any. I think she talked. No problem. How much time is there, ma'am?
30, sir.
30. Okay. Okay. Well, my introduction and all these things what they have given is good. I thanks for the TMS management and principal Anuradha Vim and my college students and our friends and our colleagues. So today the topic what we have chosen is global concern strategy for food safety. So why this food safety and all these things is required, and it is only 4 years back only. I think 2008, 2018, we started this food safety celebration. But before that, WHO already they started, but in India 2018 we started this. So the food safety is one of the important criteria for our all food productions. Now we are becoming a global leader. The strategies also is required for globally. What are the safeties we want to make it while the producing, while the preparing, anything of that kind. What is this? Hello. Hello. Okay. None understanding. Then. Oh. Okay, the next slides will just go for food safety. Why the food safety is all these things we will just go. The food safety, a public health priority is required for us. The most important is in our not only in our house and all. Now we are manufacturing. There are most of the industries and food productions, everything they come. Now food safety is made one of the compulsories to standardize our hygiene and all. Okay. This is actually the public requirement. Is the public health priority is required for us for the safe. What is your safe food? It contributes to the health, productivity, and provides effective platform to develop and poverty alleviations. This is the one. Trends in global food production, processing, distribution, and preparation of present new challenges to food safety. So more than 1/3 of the populations of developing countries affected by foodborne illness each year. This is the most concern. Now in the developing country itself, we have 1/3 populations is affecting the illness of each year of what type of food, what the safety they want to take and all. So how to control these one things we'll talk about, that is new methods to need evaluating and reducing the burden of foodborne disease. So we'll talk about this. Okay. Next, what are the new challenges to food safety? So we talked about only food safety. What are the challenges at present? So the first challenge is our urban lifestyle. See, the biggest challenge is urban lifestyle. Immediately we want some of the prepared food or instant food, ready to cook food, ready to eat food and all, and lack of other facilities. People eat as much as their food away from their home. So not the prepared home from house. This is the one more biggest challenge for us. So we need safety for that, whatever the prepared food or ready to eat food or ready to cook food or ready to drink, anything of that kind. So second challenge is in the developing countries, the food is often prepared by a street vendor, may lead to widespread single source of contamination can have the widespread. The street vendors, if they are not hygienically prepared, or their ingredient are not hygienic and all these things, that foodborne diseases can spread. That is another challenge. Next, one more challenge: increasing dependence on the stored food. The insufficient access to safe water facility to safe food preparation. While the preparation of food itself is required a water, maximum in our food and all these things, our 80 to 90% is water. Okay. So biggest is you want to make it the water, a safe water in the preparation itself, then we can control this. This is another more challenge because groundwater already it is going so much polluted due to the industrialization and all those things. So that is another. So next, another challenge what we want to make a new technologies. So what are the new technology to increase agriculture production and make food safer, but their usefulness and safety must be demonstrated if they are to be accepted by the consumers. Okay. So now global food safety concerns, whatever things will come, you just see. The main concerns are here. There are four types: microbial hazard, chemical hazards, new technologies, building capacity. So just we'll see one by one the microbial hazards, what are the chemical hazards, and your new technology, how are the concern, and building capacities. So just small detail of one. So microbial hazards. Here what happens? Foodborne illness caused by a microorganism is a large and growing public health problem. This is the biggest problem of foodborne diseases. We'll see some of the challenges what we will face there. I will show on next forwarding slides. Food pathogens. This is also another. So there are a lot of food pathogens will be there in your preparing food, or along with the ingredient also will come. Common is Salmonella, so Clostridium botulinum, so E. coli, and all these things. Approximately now see in the hazards, 1.8 million children in developing countries died from diarrhea. This is the biggest common hazards wherein the food is diarrhea. So this is in 1998. This is 1.8 million people that died like that, caused by microbial agents, mostly originating from food and water. So our food and water should be very hygiene, and it will be free from our pathogens and all microbial. Safe disposal of manure from large-scale animal and poultry production facilities bring food safety problem. This is also one of the microbial hazards. If your disposal of manure and all these things is not this, and that contamination will come to your place. So E. coli was identified long back. This you know that. So this is the main disease of our salmonella and E. coli are our diarrhea, main of the things. And here because E. coli is almost all from the soil to food, because we have milk, here, what do you say, grass and all these things, where it will come. So this we can control, how to control this one, and that is the major, what are the FSC say, I will tell you the next. So actually you see that in India, acute diarrhea disease and food poisoning routinely account for 40% of infectious disease outbreaks. So this is the main, that's why the foodborne diseases are most disease in India to controlling their safety and all this. So in 1516, more than 30 outbreaks have been detected and reported in 4 quality districts across Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. Just see that outbreaks, in the recent outbreaks, how it will come. One in Gujarat, just to say the example, a deadly desert, what they have done, a symptom like abdominal pain, they started and vomiting. This is in wedding outbreak due to basundi, where the basundi they will keep in, especially in the fridge and all. But the contamination is started with a dessert, condensed milk, topped with dry fruit and served cold. So investigator discovered that after, what happens where they put in the fridge and the 10 hours power is not there. So 2 days before that wedding and all the things is affected there, and it is multiplied, and the same thing just served in the wedding. So it is the one where in 2016. So in 2019 recently, so you can Maharashtra in the religious place. So 291 patients reported sick after consumption of meals. Where one is abdominal pain, diarrhea is the same. So keeping an incubation period of clinical profile in view of the likely organism, they have found out E. coli and this. So these are the two common pathogens we'll get our in the food. So these are the outbreaks. I think 2009 to 2018. So many outbreaks they got it. A number of people affected by this, and deaths also happened. So this is the challenge for our food safety. That's why we started at Food Safety Day, World Food Safety Day, where how to control that food, the preparation, how to keep it, that preserve the food, and what condition you want. So there are that is the biological hazard. Now it is a chemical hazard. So in the chemical hazards, what happens? A lot of microtoxins and natural toxins they will contaminate it, such like mercury, lead. So many things will come from the earth, in the soil, to the food, in the very micronutrient level, and food additives, because in this area we are working. Actually, the food additives, what they will do to preservatives, lot of preservative they'll add, so that residue will be there in the food itself, and goes on consuming a long break. Suppose if they say continuously one brand or anything, so that residue, that pesticide residue will be stored in your stomach and all the things. That will start for your chemical hazards, and you will get some of the diseases. And you want to risk assessment must take into the account of potential risk of sensitive population group such as children, pregnant women, and elderly. You want to assess their risk assessment, how these pesticides will be affecting it all. Lot of work is the work in Hyderabad, NIN, National Institute of Nutrition. They are working a lot of things, and they're optimizing your food also, how to prepare food, storing food, and your consumption of food data. So the global environment monitoring system, this is the another more you want to monitor two hazards of the chemical hazards, the GMS food we call it. Next we'll come to what is our new technology. The new technologies we are working actually, such as genetic engineering, you can control that. You can some of the irradiation food, micro heating, ohmic heating, modified atmospheric package can be used to increase the agriculture production and extend shelf life to make the safer. So we are working in this new technologies, especially not irradiations. We are working with the micro heating and ohmic heating and modified atmospheric packages. In these three, and without any preservatives, we want to extend the shelf life of the food. So we are achieving some of the products we have done it already with more than 6 months to 8 months without any preservatives. So the preservative contamination, the chemical hazardness you can reduce, and pathogens also you can control with the new technologies. Genetic engineering, another one more plant where we want to seed itself, you want to genetically modify your the produce, then increase their nutritive value and their allergetic value, their system of to fight with the pathogens and all this thing. That also the one of the new technologies by area. However, the potential public health effect these technologies have raised concern globally during the past decades. In past decades, these are the new technologies, how to make the food safety is a new technology without any preservatives or anything genetically modified or without modifying, without preservative going on. So countries should be provided with the result of objective rigorous assessment of the potential risk associated with these technology before being asked to accept it. Is the which countries you want to ask, because some of the countries genetically modified is not accepting that some of the things are there. You want to see that. So evolution of the base internationally. agreed principles, and it should factor other consideration to safety risk such as health benefits, socio-economic, ethical issues, and around. These are the a lot of other things also will come under in the new technology to development. Now, capacity building, another one more. Capacity building means you want to train to the people, women, those are working people, everybody is to bring the awareness. So, as a academician, so now PIMS is a PMS is now the academic. So, here starting onwards, you can build the capacities to the children's or training to them or entrepreneurs to them. So, we can make the food safety, food safe, you can say. So what is this capacity building is? The developing countries have many competing priorities in their health agenda, and food safety has been recognized the vital public health issue. Is the main one vital public health is most important when you want to train it. So globalization of the fruit trade. See, India has become global trade, and now you want to export anything of that. You want to meet their standards. Where there are a lot of other restrictions. You cannot use preservative. You cannot modify it genetically problem. So the food should be safe. No any chemical hazards. No any contamination. These are standards you want to be maintained. So our training is compulsory required to our entrepreneurs, students, or food producer, or food processor, all these things. Most of the concerned food safety is related to inappropriate use of agriculture chemicals. Is the another one more big challenges for us. Sorry, when agriculture commodities when they're growing, so a lot of for yield purpose, for pesticide purpose, insect purpose, they will spray some of these things. The residue will come along with the food, and that will come with the last final product. Another is water. That is, I think, infrastructure, potable water, and adequate refrigeration, lack of the awareness should be food safety day. And the farmer produce, you don't have any refrigeration system immediately after keep there all these things without destroying their top cells and any affecting of your contaminations when the harvesting time only. So this awareness you want to bring to the people. This is one kind of building capacity to the farmers or agriculturists. Many developing countries are poorly equipped to respond existing and emerging food safety problems. A lot of people are there. They are not maintaining any food safety risks. They lack technical and financial resource, an effective institutional framework, trained manpower, and sufficient information about the hazards and risks. So as a institute or training institute or anything, this you want to take the technical and financial resource, effective institutional framework only you want to make them to train the manpower and sufficient information to them, then we can control that any other hazards. So we can train that. This is one of the capacities you want to build them. There are the 4 capacity we build it. Now, what are the global strategies? So now our India has become globalizations. So what is the global strategy? The global strategies, you can say, one is our main goal is to reduce the health and social burden of foodborne disease. Okay, so this is the major one goal is there. We want to reduce the health and social burden, because due to this health and social burden only, so what happens, our earnings is going more than it is 10 to 20% to the medications, to the hospitalizations, any other thing, that is one. And where in the producer side and all those things, if it is affected already produced food, if the contamination it came, that he is also lost. So this is become on the health and social burden. This is the main goal you want to reduce. How will achieve? This will be achieved by educating and assisting in the development of risk-based sustainable integrated food safety system. This is the one achieve you want to make it. Educating and assisting the development and risk-based sustainable and integrated food safety system. So this we want to make to the people or in the producers, to educating them and giving a lot of information, assisting, training, hands-on training and all these things. And developing science-based measures along with the entire food production chain is the most important. So well, the starting of any food produce, not only a small or big or anything. So in the industry or house or hotel, a small entrepreneur, you want to make them aware the science-based measures. So how to control that? So in the disinfect. Now in the COVID system, so a lot of people now it is they have become awareness. What happens if the small bacteria to cause so much things. So if the food causing internally the cell of so we see what is the potential of outbreak of these diseases. Suddenly it will outbreak. So it will be happens in the maximum big you can say weddings, anything, some small challenges came, so it will outbreak. So their system is required. Okay. Assessing and communicating the and managing foodborne risk in cooperation with the other sector and department. So it is a chain. So what happens? The agriculture, he will farmer will produce. So primary when this cleaning and all those things also we required. So the contamination, you reduce the contamination there. Then secondary, just like we can say anything, jowar, bajra, any now he will clean in the market we are bringing, but still you can bring to house and wash with the top layer and just dry and so your contamination level another 50 to 60, 70% is reduced. Your shelf life is increased. Your next process. So after that you break and make the floor. So easily it will increase your shelf life. Otherwise, what happens that that contaminations also will come if you are not washed or any clean. Okay, this type of training, our goal should be there in the micro level and macro level both. So then you make some. If your goal is there, you want to make a strategies. So a simple some 5 strategies. Just I'll explain. There are so many strategies you can make it. So the one strategies include the following approaches: the strengthening and surveillance system of the foodborne disease. So you want to make surveillance system of the foodborne disease, where it will come, how it will go. These are the strategies to controlling their itself. Second, you want to improve the risk assessment. So the risk, what is the taking from that foodborne disease or food product, to improve the risk assessment to reduce that uh, affecting the food. Next, developing methods of assessing the safety of the product of new technology. So this is the third strategy is the one where you can develop a methodology or technology or process to assess the safety of the product of the newly and the new technology developing. You want to adopt one of the methods to save your food to control all the pathogens, chemical hazards, biological hazards and all. Next, improving international and national cooperation. This is the one big because so you until unless if you are not improved your international cooperations with our national, so we cannot export, we cannot do anything or business anything because we are now you can say maximum exporter of your rice, wheat, and other processed foods and all. So until unless you want to make the improve our international cooperations with them, so what are the strategy and what are the conditions of that country? So we want to achieve. So for that we require a capacity building and then some of the goal. Then you'll come to the strategy. Fifth is a strengthening capacity. That's the strengthening capacity building. What I say it is a training company. So just we'll see one minute one strategy how it is there. So the first strategy is strengthening surveillance system of foodborne. Okay, foodborne diseases. Here, the disease what happens, instrumental of estimating the burden of foodborne disease, assessing the relative impact of health and economics, and evaluating disease prevention of control program. So we want to make such a program, surveillance program. We want to assess all the estimations of foodborne disease, assessing relative impact, health impact, economic impact. So how to prevent? Then evaluations of your prevention of control program. This is the one where you want to make a national system or international system. It allows rapid detection and response of outbreak. So this surveillance, what happens? Immediately we can detect something gone wrong, so we will detect and we will stop that production and we won't distribute to the public anything. That outbreak we can allow. So this is the one strategy we can make. And major source of information of conducting risk assessment and more broadly for risk management and communication. So immediately, suppose what happens, some of the product already in the market, what you send the product or anything. that contains some of the risk. It has the pathogens or any some of the things. So we require a risk management team, so and communication team where you can withdraw your all the product from the market, or you can destroy that whole the product. So that high communications is required. Within that you can give the information or some of the labeling itself you have. So you can take back that batch wise and all. This is the due to surveillance. So intra-sectoral and inter-institutional collaboration. This is another more we require. Intra-sector, because mine is a food sector to water, environment sector, other sectors. Inter-institutional collaborations. They have the any institutions of all the sectors. You want to collaborate with that and make the surveillance how to control your foodborne diseases or how to increase the shelf life of the food, then we can achieve. This is the one type of strategy we can make. The second sector is improving risk assessment. You want to improve the risk assessment. What is that risk assessment is? It is recognized that one of the major problems of the current international risk assessment in the lack of exposure data from developing countries, who don't have any data from that country, which type of disease they have getting, and who don't know anything, where who don't have data also. You want to maintain some of the data in that countries, all our countries making of this. So suppose from which type of risk we have, which type of pathogens we are most of disease. In our India, I told that pathogens we have only a diarrhea type, nothing but E. coli and salmonella, which are the two where outbreak is very fast. But we don't know if we are importing from the other country, what are the effects are, which type of pathogens they affecting. This is the one risk assessment you want to make it and make the data public. India should play a leading role in promoting and collection, collations and evaluations of data on chemicals in food and the total diet of regional and international level. So because India is the worst different environment and different type of food we'll eat from south to north. So we want to make some data where what type of food, which will affect chemical effect or any other thing. And the measure will come here, this WHO, World Health Organization, and Food Agriculture Organizations also forefront to development of risk-based approaches for the management of public health hazards in food. Risk analysis will be established for the chemical hazards. So these all the lot of things they are programmed, they are conducting micronutrient and nutrients to increase that foodborne disease to control and all. So this programs will be there to assessment. If we have the data, then easily we can say that this type of food we can produce. Extending to microbiology hazard. So this is also what I called. So if we have the data, so we can risk management or risk assessment, we can manage that. The methodology used in these assessments should be made available to all states is readily accessible format. Capacity building effort should be made in this area. So at present, we don't have this type of all this format, how to that methodology and all this thing. Now, FSSAI, the Food Safety Standard Act, so they are preparing almost all the format and what quantity, what are things. Then the training, capacity training, that is capacity building effort should be made. In this, we are doing the lot of training to the trainers and all the things they are conducting in the FSSAI, that is Food Safety Standard Act. What is the third strategy? How can improve our preventations? So developing methods for assessing the safety of the product of the new technology. Now developing the methods, we want to develop a methods for assessing the safety of the product, new technology. I told some of the new technology where for that also we can make the methods to assess the safety, how it is there around. So if any new technology and all this they are coming, some of the drawbacks will be there. Some ethical challenges will become. So we want to see that. One is the application of biotechnology to food production presents consumer with new challenge and questions. So this is the application of biotechnology of food production. is the consumer with new challenges where questions, lot of they'll ask, you don't know what will happen. So a lot of data will be not there. Is it be food safety? If something, some enzymes were adding to the food, it will be is the micro level only. Is it safe or not? So the methods of assessing of safety is required. So for this, what we require, the joint FAO and WHO expert consultation on food derived from biotechnology. So one conference held at 2000 established the substantial equivalence of approach and initiating steps in assessing safety and risks associated with the genetically modified food. So GM food, what we are calling, we don't know. Once we modified, something will be, see, modification is once we are increasing something we want to decrease. There is no any doubt. So if you want to increase only the protein, if you want to increase only disease control the things, other will be weaker only. So this GM food is any effect to the long run, immediately nothing will happen. If any long run, is it affecting anything of that? The safety assessment itself requires integrated, consistent, case-by-case approach of the evaluation of such food. The food you can see, the God given is everything is a different grains and different character, different properties. Even though fruits, you can say it is entirely different, no similarity. We call it only fruits because it is give some of the sugar and all vegetable, leafy vegetable, rooty vegetable. See how many are there. So we want to assess that each of safety of their products case by case, one by one, their evaluations of food safety is required. Broadening the scope of evaluation so that environmental, cost benefit, socio-economic, and other consideration can be integrated for coherent system. We want to make it one establish a system. We require almost all the sectors, intra sectors. That is environmental. We want to cost benefits also. If any methodology or technology are developing, so it requires the cost effective cost. Okay. And so fourth one is improving the international and national cooperation. This I told. There are so many international organizations there. Now you know already. WHO is there, UNEP, that is Environment Program, Development Program. So Labor Office. Another one more is here, the International Life Science Institute, this ILSI. This is also one of the big, and development of banks and academia. So some genetically we want to some banks and academic sections also is required to international and commercial cooperations. Then we can make integrated food safety of that country and our countries, and we can exchange our whole lesson. And most the goal of this all collaboration is sustainable integrated food safety system to ensure reduction in health risk along with the entire food chain and from primary production to the consumer. I'm telling entire food chain, that is primary production to consumer. Primary production is just from cleaning of our food grains to your consumer up to your table. So that is required. So we can collaborate with these. These are the international organizations to make the food safety. And the collaboration should be based upon the comparative expertise and each organization expertise you can use it. And the last one is strengthening of the capacity building. This is most important for us. You want to build the capacity building until unless you are not training to the people or bringing awareness to the people, we cannot make up this single up. The government can take this already they started. So you can say each and every state, they have their own their safety. So we can say one is capacity building activities ranges from advocacy and technical collaboration with the ministers of health and all states, including human resources. HR also is required, and your ministry is also required. Academics is also required. Is the science and science is also required. Technology is also required. And meantime, who will do all the work? Can do NGO type and municipal government and big players of health and agriculture, TED, commerce sector, academic like you, that is your PMS also is academic, where we are building the students, their capacity. That's also we're building the capacity building only, one of the key partner in this. The key steps include strengthening local technical and scientific capacity. This is the what you are doing. local technical scientific capacity, developing effective education tool in the program. In our education tool itself, we want to make, this is the one of the criteria, which are the level, the intermediate level or the college level, where the things, let them bring the awareness, what will happen if your food is not safe. So once you come that in the academic activities you include there, so at least you will come the strengthening our capacity. Success in capacity building depends on strong involvement of regional office in the identity of food safety capacity in native varieties. The reason why I'm asking regional offices means it is in local. You want to build a local to go into higher, then your success of capacity building training of this trainer, you will train to them, they will train to the somebody like that. You should go. Then only our capacity building will come in the food safety. Training remains an important component of the capacity building. This is the most important where we are working this. The Samad Global Food, we are working on training to the capacity building for the coming students or entrepreneur or already industrialist or educationist or academic and all this. Okay. Now we'll come to the conclusion. One minute we will do the conclusion. What I have done this. The one conclusion what we have, the strategy what we have given 4 to 5 strategies is a long-term commitment of food safety as means of improving public health. It's not a short term, it is a long-term reflection. Is another 5 to 10 years, 20 years. So we will get the totally food without any pathogen effects in anything. It reflect medium and long-term work life. The proposed global strategy what I given takes into account strategies, resolutions on the food safety that have been adopted by developed countries. Already some of the countries they have adopted. Still we are in developing countries. So we want to adopt that one. So developing countries like India are urged to take guidance from the strategy improving the food safety. We will take the guidance from the already developed countries, how their global strategy they are using. We will adopt that strategy to our national level and all. While existing activities in the food safety have focused primarily on hazards in the food, the proposed strategy will be address the broader concept of risk along with the entire food production. What I just we discussed the small strategies how we can make it that food safety that we can risk we can control that. It will take into the consideration of the need of sustainable agriculture production system in all regions of the world. Will redirect some of the existing approaches to ensure that they meet emerging challenges of global food safety. So what are the emerging challenges I told initially? So this once you make it in the whole world as controlling everything from production, primary to production to consumer on the table, then our food will be as safe. I think thank you. If anybody, because what happens when I give a lecture, I will ask some of the quiz. If anybody interested, I can ask, otherwise we will close this. Hello. Hello. Umalata, can you talk? Hello. Any questions?
Hello, no questions, sir.
Okay, so then it is. I'll stop the sharing. If anything you want, you can. Hello. Hello, Indu madam.
Sir, can you hear me?
Now, anything you want to talk or I want to exit?
I will call you back. 1 second.
Okay.
to startup. Airbnb, Facebook. exist locally. Electrically managed.
problem